That's the key thing to record. All right. We live. Pep Talk UK, Pro Beez in London, but I had to make a call across
I'm missing
up north.
Man. I'm missing these little junkets where all you guys are there rocking it, asking the questions left, right, centre. You're one of the very few that don't ask the generic question. You throw a little something different into it. So it's nice. How's life with you? How are you handling things?
It's difficult. I must admit, I'm having boxing withdrawal symptoms.
Ah, so okay. Oh, you hear that? What's family like that?
It's tough, man. It's tough in the house. We're all getting frustrated, but you know, we got to survive. What about you?
You know what? I actually don't mind it. I think it's probably from years of being a sparring partner on the road. I think I did it for about 6-7 years, and making the most of it. You just get used to liking your own company, in shitty conditions. But fortunately, I'm not in shitty conditions. But I actually don't mind it. You know, I've busy myself, and it's time for self-thought about what you want to do, how you want things to pan out in the future, and I've been appreciative of what you have. Yeah. So it's just about mindset, really.
You know what? I think during this period of quarantine, a lot of people are doing things out of character. People are losing their minds, but we also getting surprising stories. I mean, first one that comes to mind is just a couple of days ago, Devin Haney. The whole internet went mad over that. Whilst you're on the line, it's a very touchy subject. But I mean, what's your whole take on this Devin Haney comment that went viral out there about no white boy could beat me, as he said?
You know what, Devin Haney, one thing we got to look at this, number one. Black America and Black Britain are two completely different kind of black. You know, how the racial situation and the view of that in the States and here in England is completely different. You'll see in America, they'll use the N-word, and a black man will use the N-word against another N-word, as though it's like a second language, you know. And I'm thinking, I'm thinking, well, you know, that kind of attitude, if a white guy says that's the same word to you, you want to beat him up. So why are you making it acceptable, put it in your rap songs, making it as an everyday conversation? So when Devin Haney's saying stuff like this, he's saying it from a perspective where there must be some type of view or acceptance over in the States to say, you know what, didn't want much rock back from it. There was when Hopkins did it, when Hopkins said it about, was it Joe Kazaki?
Joe Kazaki, 2008.
That's what I'm saying. So, and over here we're thinking, really? Is that where you're coming from? That don't have to be brought into this. Now, if it's for the headlines, if it's for the chat back, it's for people to hear this thing, I'm telling you now, you need to be careful about it, because I remember Alan Minter saying that about Marvin Hagler. And look what Marvin Hagler did to Alan Minter on whole turf. So these things are said by fighters, not just by black fighters, they're said by white fighters. And they either say it because they're in that moment and they truly believe that. But when they say it, you know, they're not thinking about the repercussions of what they're saying and how it views them. And so when Devin Haney said that, I'm thinking this boy's trying to get some headlines here. And if he really believes it, and for one day he does lose to a white man, what's he going to do then? Because everybody's beatable. And I think when he's saying stuff like, you've got to be smart, man. You think bigger. He's young. You know, and you're talking to an old man, you're talking to a granddad now. So, you know, I'm looking at it with common sense, you know, and experience and wisdom of fighters that have said that in the past. I'm looking at it through the eyes of a guy that used to box. So I understand where his head's at. I understand where his emotions are. I understand where his ego's at. You know, you gotta when you're a fighter, you've got to say to yourself, I am unbeatable. I am superhuman. You've got to convince yourself of these things, and regardless of the consequences.
In terms of Devin Haney, I mean, he mentioned that guy in question to be Lomachenko, I believe. Now, Lomachenko is no joke. I mean, Lomachenko is recognized as one of the best in the world. And if that fight was to take place, it looks like just that comment alone is going to add another angle to a potential encounter.
Yeah, but I think Lomachenko's smart enough to not emotionally get involved by it being emotionally driven by an opponent. And you've got certain fighters that understand that side of the game. And as a fighter, again, I'll say to you, if you're fighting somebody and you want to get to them, you want to wind them up and get under their skin, what you've got to do is you've got to get them angry. You've got to make them think outside of the box. You've got to make them pissed off with you. So therefore, they can't think straight, they can't act straight, they can't execute their game plan. So if Devin Haney is saying this about Lomachenko to get to Lomachenko, it's not going to make that much of a difference. I think Lomachenko's too cool for that.
Lomachenko was meant to fight next month, Teofimo Lopez. I mean, I must say, of all the fights that were scheduled this year, that was one that I was particularly looking out for, because Teofimo showed me some bits in there that I said, wow, this kid actually could be that guy.
Listen, I rate Lomachenko, but the thing is, if I say about you, you're the best fighter in the world, and I tell my mates that, and he tells his mates that, and he tells his mates that, eventually, without putting a glove on, people say, yo, my man's the best fight you can fight. So Lomachenko, even though you look at his track record, you say, wow, this guy's unbelievable. He's not unbeatable. He's just the best out there at the moment. You understand what I'm saying? So when you say this, everybody's beatable. Everybody has a chink to their arm. Everybody has an Achilles heel. Nobody's found Lomachenko's yet. Well, they have, bar one. And that was through lack of experience. I think it was his second professional fight that he lost, fighting for the world title. So looking at that, you think everybody's beatable. Everybody there's got a hole, a chink in the armor. It's just that, is there a fight around to find it? So on basic, what I'm saying is Lomachenko is good. He's an amazing specimen of a fighter, but he's not unbeatable. I don't look at him and think, I can't see anybody beating this guy yet. I do think that about Alexander Usyk, and he's not even the finished article.
What about Gervonta Davis? You know, a lot of people are looking at Gervonta Davis as a guy that's a bit special at lightweight. I mean, you've got a good crop coming through, you know, Ryan Garcia included as well. It looks like for years to come, we're going to have some a good crop of young fighters to marvel over, even if they move up to 147 pounds.
Yeah, and the division's only a great division, a good division, when there's competition within that division. We saw it from yesteryear with Hagler, Hearns, Duran, and Hagler, Hearns, Duran, and Leonard. And so again, at this division, again, you look at these guys and think you're in a great division to be stars. A can beat B, C can beat A, and B can beat C. You know, so you can never put your finger on one person and say, this guy's going to come out on the top. And that's what makes a division so exciting, so unpredictable, and creates conversation, creates argument between individuals.
Just a couple other things I want to ask you, Johnny. I know you're a very, very busy man. A couple of things. First and foremost, John Fury versus Mickey Theo. These guys are knocking around your age group, and they're looking to have a tear-up. What's your thoughts on that potential fight if it happens?
You know what? I'm older than John Fury. Can you believe that? I'm older than this guy.
Oh, wow.
So John Fury, I didn't know this. I said in another interview, John Fury, he knows the game inside out, because you've got to look back on his fight against Wilder. Both fights. No, sorry, the last fight. My man he called it to a T. He called about everybody, about all the so-called professionals, all the so-called analysts, all the so-called experienced individuals. John Fury was the only one to call it, which tells you, and I mean, it was like he read it page by page, which tells you this guy is like his son, or so to say, his son's like his father, in regards to his understanding of the fight game, his understanding of human nature, his understanding of what's cojones, attitude, mentality when it goes into a fight. Just because it's not backed by the press and the public doesn't mean it's not possible. It just means you know something they don't. And I think John Fury is a smart guy. And I think so with John Fury, looking at that, for him to put himself into this position, is it ego? Is it common sense? Or is it known fact why he wants to do this? Now, he knows what he's capable of doing, really. He's the only one that knows. He knows what he used to be capable of doing, and he knows what's in front of him. So for John Fury to put himself in this position, he'll have done the maths. He'll have looked at the age, he'll looked at what he's done, he'll looked at condition of him, he'll looked at activity, he looked at everything. And he'd have weighed it up. As long as ego doesn't take over and ego's not blinding him into thinking it's something he's not, I think John Fury will do something for us old boys. And I think that will be the case. I do think that will be the case. I think he's smart enough to not overextend himself, put himself in that position. But then again, we saw Nigel Benn train like mad to come back to fight again. Yeah. So the difference between Nigel Benn and, in fact, there isn't much difference between Nigel Benn's attitude and John Fury's attitude, because it's about self-belief. The thing is, I think Nigel Benn's opponent was a bit more live than John Fury's. And Nigel Benn's style suited a young man. It didn't suit a man in his 50s. Whereas John's a big, strong piece of man. So therefore, his style will be ageless. And as we saw in the past with people like George Foreman and stuff like that, if you're big, you're strong, you can punch, walk a man down. That's what you do. So I expect John Fury to win, but I also expect it to be the last time he does that. I don't think he'll do it again.